Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to go over communications. I think it's highly underrated thing to consider for your preps or emergency bug out situations, whatever the case may be. I brought out a small selection of stuff for some examples here. So I'll get the camera brought in a little tighter so everybody can get a better look, and we'll go over some of these options. For starters, we'll just try to keep it, pretty simple, pretty basic. These are your typical two-way handhelds. These ones just happen to be made by Midland. Got a limited range, good battery life. These come with rechargeable batteries, or if you're so inclined, you can pop the back of these off and just use regular alkaline batteries. I found that I like the form factors on these and the weight. They're pretty light. And if I remember right, yeah, you can use so with that, often you can get like a little thing that plugs in there to use a microphone or just like a earpiece kind of thing in case you need a little more quiet for your communications. These are pretty standard. They got a lot of options to silence channels, and there's a bit of programmability with these. Have a scan mode. I do believe these also have a weather band, emergency weather band on them. Now those, like I said, these are just your kind of basics. I do believe at the time I paid maybe around 70-80 bucks for this set. But they're well above and beyond your real average cheap set. Though these are still considered actually cheap for what they do. I have not currently at my current location, but also have Cobra branded ones that are pretty much same size, same function. Now then, moving right along here. This is a little more expensive of an option, but this one doesn't allow for any transmission. This is simply a handheld scanner. Now these are programmable, which is really actually easy. These don't take much to. I do believe there's also a port here for it's your charging port for this. To my knowledge, though I haven't took it apart, I'm not sure what kind of battery this has got. Actually, let's take a look at it together. Okay, yeah. These are rechargeable AA types. So if you can't have access, if these happen to wear out and you have access to normal batteries, you can still use this thing. And from what I can tell, it's actually fairly easy on batteries. This thing will last for a very long time. Now, the benefit of this, of course, is being able to listen in on fire, EMS, and just a general large variety of CB channels and the like, and that can get you information if the grid goes down and you're using like CBs and the like. So not a bad option. Now moving on to an actual fairly affordable option. That's for what they are. I'm actually one of my favorites, and this is the Baofeng. Which one is this one? UV R5 Plus Pro. These are fantastic. Now keep in mind, if you don't have a radio operator's license, you can't really legally transmit on these. But if it's an emergency, is what it is. Better to be tried by 12 than to be carried by 6.
Channel mode.
Now these are pretty effective. Now I bought these on Amazon, and they're around $40 some because I bought for each one of these I got. You had the option to get a large kit that came with mics, earphones, 2 different types. This is a normal, but I also came with a 10-inch whip and a little small stubby antenna was an option for it, and programming cable and all that came with it. The kits I bought. Now these are very light. There's multiple options with these. They even have the option to get extended battery packs for them. But I found even these small standard batteries that come with it, the battery life on these is phenomenal. And there is gobsmack of videos out there on people, how to properly program these, how to use them, how to get the best settings to get the best out of these as far as receive and transmit. So if you take the time to do that, you'd be surprised what you can get out of one of these little guys. Like I said, the options for these are quite substantial. And again, it's got that nice lightweight form factor to it. It's not too big and bulky. And I found like this, and if I'm going out doing anything serious, this would be the one I take with me. And I carry the 10-inch antenna with it, the whip antenna. That way I get a little bit better range and transmission in case I need to talk to somebody at the house. But they're fantastic. Now then, moving right along, this is pretty simple and cheap. It's a unit-in. This is literally just a handheld standard CB. Now this I had purchased off a co-worker that no longer needed it. I got it obviously a lot cheaper than what you're going to buy this for. This thing comes with a cable, and right now I just currently have normal batteries in it. It takes quite a few batteries, but thankfully the battery life on it's pretty good too. Now the range is not great on this, obviously. It's a very small unit. It's not pushing much, but it's nice to have in a pinch. And if you happen to be in a bad situation, now like I said, typically we're going to run under scenarios of, survival prepper kind of thing. Having one of these could, like I said, at the very least, let you hear what's going on around you, maybe to avoid bad places in the road, etc., etc. And nothing else, just communicate to other people, especially if you get on a very high hill out here. You have better reception and transmission ability because you're up and above and how the radio waves work. Now, like I said, this one I've had now for quite a few years. The bow fangs, I'd like to say I've had them for 4 or 5 years now, and these still work just like the day I got them. They're functioning fantastic. So now, in particular, as far as recommendations go, whereas one of these are nice. Now, like I said, now the price on a lot of these units, they vary drastically depending on what brand you buy, what quality, how many watts the unit is. For just literally just starting out, if you do not have any of these at all, these are not bad. Just these simple little two-way walkie-talkies. And like I said, now they come with charging ports. You pop them in. They come with rechargeable batteries. And like I said, if those go bad on you, you can just slap 2 AA's in them, and they'll still work. Now, what I do like about these, they're very easy for beginners to get around. It's not too complicated. You can kind of buy these, and I recommend however if you're getting these for like your family, I'd almost recommend getting enough of these to have per member of your household. So that way, if things are going on and crazy, there's been a lot of power outages and the like, and you have to keep track of just your property and stuff. Especially if your standard lines of communication, landlines, internet, cell phones and stuff are compromised or just not working at all. Oh man, these are so handy because you can actually communicate with people at a distance, without any kind of network supporting it. Now, to have one of these just as in general kind of thing, pretty nice. Now, this will actually could get you more critical information. Like I said, you can listen in EMS and fire and things like that. And this one, you can also listen in normal CB channel stations. Though with this unit in Bearcat, you do not have the ability to transmit. This is strictly a scanner, but it's got a pretty nice, lightweight, pretty small footprint. And then, this is something you can turn on, set on a shelf or a table or something like that where you're going about your day, getting some stuff done, or carry it with you. But this thing right here can get you critical information about, anything going on in your area. Now, these also can double as a scanner, quite obviously, but they do have the ability to transmit. They even have an FM radio on it. So if I was going to pick one out of all of them, I would definitely recommend these from Baofeng. And you're going to ask me, well, why? They're more complicated. Yes, they are. They're definitely more complicated. But once you get that figured out, and it's with a lot of things, it's your due diligence to learn, and it's just part of the game. And with these, like I said, in a really, really bad situation, yes, you can transmit. But also, these doubling as a scanner, you have access to ham radio waves, and mine are set up. I got police, fire, EMS, you name it on it. I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and something. This thing these will hold around 127 channels, and I've got close to, I think, 40 some programmed on these, and they're both programmed with the same channels. If you get, obviously you don't need to, but I recommend to. That way, someone else can use one in case they need to go out. But the important thing is with these, I can get information. I can at the very least, get an idea of what's going on in my local area, and having the ability to access FM radio waves is pretty nice too. I would have loved if this did AM, FM, but it only does FM. However, it's just that easier. I've got multiple emergency channels programmed into this, also the emergency weather channels and all that too. Because a lot of times you're dealing with disasters, if they're not man-made, 90% of the time you're dealing with natural disasters, flooding, earthquakes, landslides, derechos, tornadoes, hurricanes, all that stuff. And since these don't need a network to function, that gives you a leg up. You're not relying on satellites and the like. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Consider, hopefully I gave you some ideas to consider. But like I said, if you have any doubts and you're too intimidated, this is a very good way to get your foot in the door. Get at least one set. You buy them in one set. They come with two, but so at the very least, get these to start with, and once you kind of figure out how it is, you get comfortable with that, maybe upgrade to this. And only thing I say about these, if your vehicle doesn't have a CB or you don't have a base station at your home, this is, and there's a much nicer one of these you can buy. I mean, Cobra makes some pretty nice handheld units, but one of these is also a nice thing to consider, because that can really get you communicating with a lot of people who, if you're going to communicate with people, most likely they're going to have actual normal CBs and probably most likely in a vehicle. So consider having a CB unit of some variety. And with that, I'm going to head and close out the video, guys. Hopefully this was informative, and this one's probably not quite so entertaining. It was a little dry, but please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'm going to see y'all in another video.